Hi, masantos ya ago. Welcome to my store. This is 363 Metroplaza Dagupan in Pangasinan. Come on, let's have a virtual coffee tasting, and I believe Kenya would be a perfect fit for it. Now before I start, I want you all to know that I sanitized my hands. Presenting to you the small wares or equipment that we'll be needing into our pour-over brewed coffee routine. We have our gooseneck kettle, 90 to 95 degrees, right off the boil hot water, our coffee. Number 4 paper filter. We have our glass server, our ceramic mug, the receptacle, and some syrups just to add some flavor to your coffee. What I'm doing here is that I'm going to fold the number 4 paper filter into the sides or seams and into its bottom to ensure the proper fit into the ceramic mug. Next up is I'm going to pour a 90 to 95 degrees Celsius right off the boil hot water from the tall ice level of the gooseneck kettle. For this one, we are in the priming stage just so it could ensure that the paper filter will not collapse. So after the prep and prime stage, I made sure that I put into the receptacle the discarded hot water before I brew our coffee. For this next step, I measured the hot water into the tall hot level of the gooseneck kettle. For this one, I grind my coffee into number 5 Malkonig setting. It should resemble a granulated sugar, and I use 3 scoops for tall size. Of course, we have to tap the ceramic mug to even out the coffee bed. Now what I'm doing is pouring water that is approximately double the amount of grounds. Pause 5 seconds to allow coffee to bloom. The small amount of water allows coffee to saturate and prepares the grounds for brewing. Finish brewing by using a slow and even circular motion while maintaining a consistent and moderate rate of pour, avoiding the sides of the cone. This creates a gentle turbulence that steers the coffee, allowing water to more evenly extract flavors from the grounds. Kenya was introduced in 1971, where the first Starbucks store opened in Seattle, Washington. We've been offering Kenya coffee for about 50 years now. To give you some facts about this coffee is that it is from the African coffee growing region. Allowed to fully brew, beverage is finished when individual drips begin. It has undergone washed or wet processing method. A juicy and complex flavor that you can enjoy especially over hot or iced version. I believe our coffee is now ready. So let's begin the coffee tasting proper the only way we know how as Starbucks partners. In Starbucks, we have 4 steps towards tasting a coffee. The first step is what we call the smell. Second is to slurp, third is to locate, and fourth is to describe. First is to smell the coffee. Cap the cup in half and smell and savor the aroma of the coffee. And because our tongue can only determine 4 tastes such as sweet, salty, sour, and bitter, you'll definitely notice a difference when you smell the coffee first before you taste it. Upon smelling the coffee, I feel like I'm sort of lost in a lush garden filled with flowers as floral scent prevails in complex aroma. Next step is to slurp the coffee. The importance of slurping the coffee is that it sprays into our palate and hits every corner of our tongue. I tasted how citrusy the flavor of the coffee is, such that a hint of grapefruit is pronounced. Now, it's very evident that Kenya has a medium body and a fuller acidity type of coffee. Now, the reason being why I use the pour-over method into this coffee tasting, it is because I wanted to show or prove the acidity of the coffee is being highlighted and is being accentuated in this brewing method. As compared to the French press highlights the body of the coffee and its cafe oil. Thus, it produces a heavy mouthfeel of any coffee that you use within the coffee press. On to the last step. We describe the coffee. Now, how do we describe the coffee? We simply describe the coffee by the experiences that we have along with the coffee. Just as how Starbucks created the image of the elephant in front of the packaging of this Kenyan coffee, which creates a psychology for the customers to crave for something tropical and exotic. I myself also craved for growth and progress. I realized that I've been so stagnant to the point where I feel I lost my progress, that I stopped at growing. So I took the courage and challenged myself to take on to the next step, and that is to be an aspiring global coffee master. My journey wasn't just a typical coffee master journey. I have to become a global coffee master in the midst of the pandemic. You know, looking back during my journey in a global pandemic setting was so difficult, and it's so different. Now that I can say that I am a certified global coffee master, I can say that it wasn't an overnight success, but it was all worth it. I am Mann, a barista from 363 Metroplaza Dagupan, saying, when you crave for career growth and knowledge, no one can stop you from achieving your goals, not even a global pandemic. Stay safe, everyone.